Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick from the Frederick team at Fairway Independent Mortgage and my partner, Ryan Gerdes. Boy, you're going to want to just text the word best. No, take that back. Text the word Arizona to 623-AZ-RECON. That's Arizona to 623-AZ-RECON.
Or you can just do AZ to 623 AZ.
AZ,
Yeah.
up yours, it doesn't matter. Just text something.
Yeah.
Just text anything.
Yeah.
Ryan's just
Somebody's
sitting there.
gonna text up yours.
Ryan's
Text
monitoring the texting machine, just waiting for somebody to say hi.
If you put up yours, Mike Weinstein will personally call you back.
Ryan, I get this all the time from investors of, hey, Arizona might be too expensive to invest in or move to. There's other parts of the country where properties are cheaper and maybe my positive cash flow might be in a better position. And I'm not saying that there aren't other places out there, but there's so much more that goes into it. I was having a conversation with someone the other day as far as one of the major factors you got to consider are, the state's particular Landlord-Tenant Act or whatever they call it. What are your rights as a landlord? What is the eviction process? Somebody starts paying the rent. There's so many other things, but there's a lot of people talking about, oh man, Arizona's might be oversaturated and it's getting too expensive. We always say, focus on the economy. Don't focus on the numbers. Focus on the overwhelming or the overall picture of
focus
the health
on the numbers of the economy.
Not the numbers of price point
Right.
and rental income. So there was a study out and a survey as far as the top U.S. states that have the best economies for 2024, and Arizona came in at number 5.
Mm-hmm. And then it was funny because earlier this week we were talking about Florida and what a fallout rate that they're having. They're actually number 1. But I going back, because I think this is a good opportunity for us to be proud of the state that we're living in and all the accomplishments that we've had and what's going on here. The state was founded on the 7 C's or the 5 C's or whatever.
The 6, but
the 6,
what
whatever.
who cares?
But the moral of the story is that our economy,
I think it was the 5 C's.
It is 5.
It's 5.
has evolved because it always had to do something with agriculture or the climate and or mining copper, etc. But we've really become a destination state now. And it's not just because of the Grand Canyon. People are golfing in Scottsdale. They're doing the Vortex in Sedona. They're going to a basketball game in Tucson. There's a lot of different things that this state is offering that's altered the way that we've been driving business and sustaining business. Before long, I mean, people are already having rumblings about us being the next Silicon Valley. I mean,
We're on our way.
Yeah, I mean the article here already suggests the semiconductor plant is probably one of our biggest newest drivers of industry here. So if you haven't been keeping up, or if you're not from the area, you maybe not be privy to the information, but TSMC, Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, has just developed this massive campus over on the north side of town, and just dropping tens of billions of dollars.
Dude, we drove by it 2 weeks ago. That thing,
It's growing
That
so
thing
fast.
looks like a giant space station.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's beautiful, and it's driven in already so many jobs, and I think it's not even a quarter done.
Yeah.
And so we've just seen the tip of the iceberg, but. Yeah, that's not saying that all of our eggs are in one basket. There's all these sister companies and just other companies that are feeding off of the success of that. Meta has a massive campus over on the east side. That's Facebook and all their data analytic companies, and Intel has a huge foothold. Boeing's here. We have these massive anchors that have nothing to do with the founding drivers of the economy. Yeah. And that so it's just really cool and interesting to see how we've evolved And, we're the 48th state. We're one of the youngest states that's out there. So what we've been able to do in such a short period of time and still staying on the rise, I think is amazing. So there's my 2 bits on that.
All right. If you'd like some more information about the great state of Arizona, and if you're thinking about investing somewhere in the country, I highly recommend just picking up your phone and texting us to learn more about Arizona. You can do so by texting the word Arizona to 623 AZ Recon. That's Arizona to 623 AZ Recon. Justin, let's just dive into the numbers for 2024. I guess all these states got an economy score. And so it's out of 350 points. State of Arizona scored 255, so we got a B+ rating. Our GDP for 2023 was $414.3 billion, up 2.7%. Job growth in 2023 from 2024 up 2.5%. And our debt rating and outlook, we were ranked, we got an AA1 grade.
State.
And our foreign domestic investment, this was really interesting to me, $2.8 billion. The one thing that I thought was really interesting about this, because I'm not a big government guy. I mean, I think the smaller the government, the better, because it puts more money into people's hands. And our governor, Katie Hobbs, who I refer to as the veto queen, she just vetoes just about everything that comes across her desk. But she signed our 2025 state budget.
I don't think you get to veto budgets, do you?
No, I don't know.
think so. Oh, we're just not doing it this year.
Yeah. But but it includes cuts of approximately 3% for most state agencies. I know if you're a state employee, it may not be the best news, but when it comes down to an overall economy, because when you take a look at the national debt, the trillions of dollars,
35 trillion.
This is a big flipping deal, Justin.
Yeah, it is. And I loved how this article actually considered economic growth, job growth, the state finances, fiscal reserves, pension obligations, and credit ratings. I mean, and the overall health of the housing market. I feel like this article was done very well. It wasn't just one of those ones. And hey, in my opinion, this is where you rank. I really feel like they dug into it and they did a really good study here. And it really shows how we're performing on paper. This is how we're performing, and it shows by the amount of investors that we're bringing in here.
Yeah, and so for me, Ryan, I think the overriding, thing here is the fact that when you take a look at numbers like this, this is what attracts and continues to attract businesses. Not only nationwide, but globally, because if you're a major company and you're looking for a place to settle down, these are the numbers that mean the most to you.
Well, and I think that one thing that they didn't really state in here that, in my opinion, is one of the big reasons why we've been able to be so successful is the infrastructure. We have the I-10, which connects you from LAX over to Jacksonville, right? And so, whereas like Las Vegas, love Las Vegas, but there's really only a couple ways in and a couple ways out, and they're not that easy. It's getting easier now that they've done the bridge over the Hoover Dam, but that's still historically it's always been difficult to get in and out of. I think that Sky Harbor is probably one of the top 10 airports in the United States as far as easily getting in and getting out, and it's attracting a lot of different types of airlines.
And I'm telling you what, if I could just have a pass just to get through TSA without an airline ticket, I'd go there for dinner 3 times a week. The restaurant selection at Sky Harbor Airport is off the charts.
And it used to just be Terminal 4. Well, we had 2, 3, and 4, right? But 4 is where everyone wanted to go.
Yeah.
And now it's Terminal 3 has really stepped up their game, and so I think that there's a lot of attraction for more international travel. We just picked up a couple more direct flights internationally here in the past month, and I think that that's going to help a lot of our international and foreign trades back and forth, and attracting more business people here. Because over here with the foreign direct investment only at $2.8 billion, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3.5 or better come 2024 numbers, especially with what TSMC is doing. So I see a lot of those things, and then we're spending a bunch of money on even better and more infrastructure that's going to encourage not just the tech growth from the people working from home, because we've seen a lot of that. A lot of people move here from California. They have California jobs, but then they work remotely here. But actual more plants and more office space and people actually attending brick and mortar type of jobs.
And you say infrastructure too. I just want to, we get to travel all over the country for a lot of things that we do, and what I always get reminded when I fly back into Arizona and drive around on our highways, they're actually good highways too. You're not just getting rattling off the road. Everything's well maintained and taken care of, and I think it's because we don't have to deal with the heavy winters and the snowplows on our infrastructure.
Now
We're spoiled.
Yeah. You're going to have to verify it because I don't know if I have the right airlines, but I think I do, because we all know that for Arizona, the two popular destinations are Rocky Point, and then especially during the summer is San Diego. So we're talking about airlines. I believe it was American Airlines getting ready to launch a direct flight to Carlsbad, which is just north of
That's
San
cool.
Diego, which I think is fantastic, because
Yeah.
oftentimes that's where I go is Carlsbad.
It's hard to get to Carlsbad unless you drive there.
Yeah.
Like drive from Phoenix, but
That's a
fly
good
there.
midpoint
Yeah.
to hit the other.
All right, so
coastal
we
cities.
mentioned that Arizona was number 5 in the top 10 states for best economies in 2024. I'll just go ahead and give you the list. Coming in at number 10, Delaware.
Hi.
I don't even know where it's at.
We're in
I have an idea.
we're
I know
in
it's in the East
Delaware.
Coast.
That's a nod to Wayne's World.
Idaho, number 9.
Idaho.
Nevada, number 8. Number 7 is Georgia. Number 6 is Utah. Of course, Arizona, number 5. Number 4 was North Carolina. Number 3 was Tennessee. Number 2 was Texas. And number 1 was Florida. So for people who are thinking about, hey, I'm thinking about taking my investment dollars to other states, is it on this list? And even, I want to just go back to how we started, Ryan, even if it's on this list and you're going to invest, you've really got to pay attention to what the rental market's like and what the landlord-tenant laws are like and what the eviction process is like, because, and of course, California's not on this list, but, a lot of people, want to invest in California, but boy, you get a renter in there, stop paying their rent, it could be 12 to 18 months before you can evict them.
I also, we're assuming that everyone's approach to investment is to buy and hold for the rental outlook on it. But even if you're a developer, if you're a flipper, if you just like to buy raw land and sit on it, or what it is that you're trying to accomplish in your real estate portfolio, these types of economical impacts are going to be something that you need to be paying attention to. The same thing as with schools, right? Like we're finally starting to get a little bit of traction on our education in Arizona, which is exciting. We're finally moving up the ranks. I think we're I think we're 48, just like the state that we are for so many years, and I think that we're like 42 now.
So we're moving up.
But the moral of the story is, you got to look into all these things after you've decided on what type of plan, what type of investment model that you want, or that works best to your strengths. Then that's when you need to start deciding, okay, what kind of market am I going to invest in and how?
Well, it really just comes down to understanding the different markets. But if you were looking at reading beyond the headlines and want to learn more about the Arizona market, even if you're wanting to come here for a job, because these numbers are really favorable. If you're looking for a place to settle down, get employment, have a comfortable lifestyle, these numbers mean everything to you. But whatever the case is, whatever your goal is, when it comes down to real estate, for more information about the great state of Arizona, all you got to do is text the word Arizona to 623-AZ-RECON. That's Arizona to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, it is Friday, and you're going to leave the studio, and you're wanting to just pick yourself up a nice bottle of some type of alcohol. What would it be, and where would you go, Ryan?
I think you already know my answer.
That's why I came up with a backup plan.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, it's the place that we normally go whenever we're looking for something that's going to be either a little more elite or whatever. I'm not going to call it the cheapest, but we're not always.
I
looking
did
for
say
that.
the word nice.
Yeah, and so Magnum's over on 7th Street in Union Hills. It is very non-assuming from the curb. It's just part of a strip mall. You look at it and you're like, okay, it's just another kind of like corner liquor store or whatever. I'm surprised it doesn't have a drive-through. And then you get in there and you're like,
And it's a cigar bar too. We need to point out.
yeah, no, So I'll get there. So they have an amazing selection of we love bourbons, so that's what we're primarily looking for, some type of whiskey, and so. Always get some really cool stuff there, and they do a lot of hand selecting of their own batches, and then they have this awesome walk-in humidor. So love going in there and getting something that we can enjoy whatever we've decided on, plus have a cigar with it. And then, kind of like off to the left, it's like it's a door. It's obviously there. You see it, but it's not like, you get in there, and it opens up to these like 20-foot ceiling with a solid mahogany bar, maybe straight out of Ireland or whatever, and just from floor to ceiling, just everything and anything that you can think of. And then they always have some type of cool local thing on tap or something. And then to top it off, might be the best charcuterie board that you can get.
We should have done that for next week, best charcuterie board. So you already ruined that. Hands down, the best charcuterie board in the entire state of Arizona, in my opinion.
Cigar, whether you want an old fashioned, something neat or whatever, and then charcuterie board, and then they have big screens too if there's a game on or whatever. But yeah. That's my jam.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
And they always have these package deals. I was in there the other night, and I got a bottle of bourbon and a bottle of tequila for $29.99. I'm like, is this right? And they're like, yeah, that's right. So
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
All right, Justin.
All right, so there's this great place down the street. It's I have about a half-mile radius that I like to drive when I get done with work. I'm not a big driver because I drive all week. This is a great place down the street. It's very well known. They provide quite a bit of things there. It's called Circle K. They provide gas as well.
What's wrong
So
with
I can
you,
fill
dude?
up with gas, and then I go inside and.
What's your drink of choice when you
Janet's-
walk into Circle K,
Your
man?
premium 12-pack of PBR.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I'm not
You're done.
I'm not
You're
a big
done.
liquor drinker. I Corona. I'll just grab a 12-pack of Corona. And
All right.
sit in the pool, drink some Corona with lime.
Sure.
Makes me feel
I
good
love
about
it.
myself.
All right, so I
Accomplished.
I am
knew
mad at it.
I had a feeling, Ryan, that you were going to say Magnum, so I had to come up with a backup. Now, this is not a place that you're going to go and sit down and have a drink, but if I'm wanting, because I'm a bourbon whiskey guy as well, if I'm wanting a good selection to choose from, and including wine, because my wife's a wine drinker, I love AJ's Fine Foods.
Oh, yeah.
They got a fantastic liquor selection, and plus they got a sandwich bar, they got a sushi bar. I can get a lot of stuff done at AJ's.
Yeah. And you know what? We should take a nod to Churchill's because they'll have those package deals that very small. They they decide what you're buying that week, But sometimes you'll go in there. That's exactly what I want, and it's a great package deal. And then I can't disclose the other honorable mention because it's a liquor store in a very shady neighborhood.
Habib's?
And they sell a ton. And so if you don't know anything about fine liquors, it has to do with allocation. And so they base it off of how much product you move will determine how nice of type of inventory they'll allow you to buy. And so because they sell so much, Old English and whatever, the cheapest thing that you can find on the shelf, they sell so much of it. They get all these points in allocation that they'll have these bottles that you can't find anywhere, and they sell them for basically what they're, they don't mark them up really, and they sit on the shelves because no one can afford to go in there and buy $100 bottle of bourbon. But I know where it is, and they always have whatever I want available.
So if you want to know where it is, and or just want to go and take us out for bourbon, go ahead and text the word bourbon to 623-AZ-RECON. Ryan will tell you, if you text that, Ryan will tell you where this place is.
Okay.
But more importantly, we'd love to talk real estate over some bourbon, some cigars with you. What to do is text the word bourbon to 623-AZ-RECON. That's bourbon to 623-AZ-RECON.